He spent 16 years in prison after being wrongly convicted of rape. His accuser, a best-selling author, is now apologizing, saying she's truly sorry. But how do you undo such a life-altering mistake?
Some stories don't end with a bow. They unravel like threads pulled from the hem of the truth. And sometimes, the person holding the thread doesn't even realize it's been stained with someone else's blood. In 1999, Alice Sebold published a memoir titled Lucky, a harrowing and personal account of her 1981 rape as a freshman at Syracuse University. It was raw, it was emotional, and for many, it was inspiring. Her story was later followed by the best-selling novel, The Lovely Bones, a haunting fictional tale about a murdered teenage girl watching her family from the afterlife. But behind the success of Sebold's literary career, a very real man was living out a nightmare, one written not with fiction, but with falsehood. Chapter 1. The Accusation. His name was Anthony Broadwater, and for 16 years, he sat behind bars as a convicted rapist. Sebold identified Broadwater in court, though notably not in the police lineup. In fact, during the initial lineup, she picked someone else. Broadwater wasn't her first choice. But somehow, over time, he became the man she was sure had assaulted her. Now, we need to pause here. Because a lot of folks want to believe that memory is a vault. That trauma makes things clearer, not cloudier. But neuroscience and a long list of wrongful convictions says otherwise. In Sebold's case, the prosecution's case leaned heavily on her testimony and questionable forensic hair analysis. The kind now widely discredited by science. No DNA, no physical evidence. Just a flawed system, eager for a conviction. And a young woman who needed someone to blame. Chapter 2. The Conviction That Stuck. Anthony Broadwater was convicted in 1982 and labeled a Class 3 violent sexual offender. He was denied parole 5 times because he refused to admit guilt to a crime he didn't commit. He got out in 1998, but like most men branded by the system, he never really got free. Couldn't find steady work. Couldn't build a family. Couldn't even go to the corner store without feeling the weight of suspicion in the air. Meanwhile, Alice Sebold's star was rising. Her book sold millions. The Lovely Bones became a Hollywood movie. She was celebrated. He was erased. Until the script flipped. Chapter 3. Hollywood starts digging. Fast forward to 2021. A film adaptation of Lucky was in development. But a producer named Tim Mukshantius, a white man in Hollywood of all people, started noticing holes in the story. The timeline didn't add up. The evidence was flimsy. Something just felt off. So he hired a private investigator. What followed was the literary version of an unsolved crime podcast meets wrongful conviction. Investigators discovered that not only had the hair analysis been junk science, but the lineup and testimony were seriously flawed. When the case was re-examined by a new legal team, the truth became undeniable. Anthony Broadwater did not commit the crime. Chapter 4. The apology heard around the literary world. In November 2021, the conviction was officially overturned. A judge looked Anthony Broadwater in the eye and said, "I'm sorry." Alice Sebold wasn't in the courtroom, but days later, she issued a public statement. "I am grateful that Mr. Broadwater has finally been vindicated, but I do apologize most sincerely and deeply to him. I am sorry most of all for the fact that the life you could have led was unjustly robbed from you." Respectable words, but for some, they felt hollow, especially when paired with reports that she refused to meet with Broadwater face-to-face. She also pulled Lucky from publication temporarily to make revisions. Some say that was damage control. Others say it was accountability. And his response was grace with a side of sorrow. "It took me 40 years to clear my name, and it only took 4 hours for them to convict me." Chapter 5. What we learned. This story isn't just about one woman getting it wrong, or one man paying the price. It's about how the system let it happen. How the courts, the media, and even the publishing industry built a castle of success on a broken foundation. It's a reminder that white woman tears still hold weight in courtrooms where black men's innocence is seen as optional. It's a reminder that truth isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers for decades until someone finally listens. And it's a reminder that no matter how lucky a story seems, real justice doesn't always come with a bestseller deal or a film adaptation. Sometimes it comes with silence and waiting and a name cleared at last.